helping our Kenyans in doing two things, and then switch to Italian. I punti importanti sono questi, come dicevo: il cambiamento climatico effettivamente impatta molto, impatta in maniera sproporzionata sul continente africano e sui paesi africani che hanno molte meno responsabilità del cambiamento climatico, quindi diciamo c'è un dovere nostro ovviamente di accompagnarli nei processi di adattamento. L'adattamento prende forma di che cosa? Di una possibilità di assistere effettivamente nelle coltivazioni, nella consulenza sulle coltivazioni, nelle varietà che possono essere piantate. Sono alcune varietà che sono più resilienti rispetto ad altre di caffè, quindi senza intervenire, anzi come dire, sfruttando l'immensa varietà che Madre Natura ci ha offerto, si possono effettivamente implementare e seminare, mettere a coltivazione varietà che sono più resistenti al cambiamento climatico. Questo è un punto importante, perché altrimenti c'è il rischio che la produzione di caffè crolli, e questo, come dicevo, fuori dallo scherzo, è un dramma per i milioni di piccoli produttori che in Kenya, come anche in altri paesi dell'Africa orientale e anche di altre parti del mondo, effettivamente dipendono in quanto sostentamento e a reddito da questo. Ma c'è un altro punto importante, ed è quello che noi, e questa è la filosofia del piano Mattei, vogliamo rafforzare il partenariato. This is the philosophy of the Mattei plan. The Prime Minister Rutte launched 1 year ago with the participation of a number of important presidents and prime ministers. I don't remember whether if President Rutte also attended that. It was in Rome. In fact, he was in Rome also last year. And the philosophy is to consolidate an approach which is an approach between pairs. So there is no a donor and a beneficiary, but there are two partners which work together for the benefit of each one. E allora noi vogliamo rafforzare la catena di valore nei paesi produttori. Pensiamo che non dobbiamo importare la semplice bacca, ma vogliamo che le fasi di processazione del caffè, che sono dal lavaggio piuttosto che dalla cottura, piuttosto che dalla tostatura, e tutte le altre, anche poi dell'impacchettamento, della commercializzazione, del marketing, vogliamo che queste fasi siano il più possibile ancorate nel continente africano. C'è spazio per tutti, non è vero che si tolgono opportunità per i produttori italiani. Noi produciamo caffè, noi processiamo caffè, non c'è un chicco di caffè, una pianta di caffè in Italia, ma siamo produttori anche di macchinari del caffè molto evoluti, quindi mettiamo a disposizione la nostra tecnologia, il nostro know-how dei produttori e dei processatori del Kenya e dell'Africa, che vogliamo accompagnare e fare crescere. Per questo abbiamo realizzato e sempre più realizzeremo centri tecnologici del caffè con tecnologia e know-how italiane a disposizione dei produttori locali. E fatemi finire su una nota: noi siamo il paese delle 6 milioni di piccole e medie imprese, delle milioni di iscritti alle varie organizzazioni, insomma, di produttori. Siamo in qualche modo simili ai paesi africani con i quali proponiamo di collaborare, perché vedono un po' riflessa l'immagine di un paese che effettivamente si è sviluppato, ma attento anche alle dimensioni piccole, attento anche ai processi produttivi rispettosi dell'ambiente, utilizzando il minor quantità possibile di risorse naturali per non disperderle, per lasciarle alle future generazioni. Quindi grazie per questa occasione. Qui sarà un percorso sensoriale, ma la qualità e la certificazione della qualità sono fondamentali anche per accedere a mercati più importanti che sono in grado di remunerare meglio anche le produzioni, e la nostra idea è quella di crescere insieme all'insegna del gusto e della sostenibilità. Grazie.
Grazie direttore per averci dato un po' di contesto generale di questa collaborazione. Lasciamo la parola a Cinzia Sarli di ICE.
Hello. Good afternoon everyone. My name is Cinzia Sarli. I work for an Italian trade agency headquartered in Rome, and in particular a follow project with Africa. It's a truly honor to be here today with our brothers of Italian Agency for Development Cooperation for this joint project. We have been here together at SIGEP since the last year. This is our second edition. Last year we have brought to SIGEP Kenyan cooperatives only, and this year we doubled the effort, and we are here with 18 cooperatives. We are happy to see some of you here today, not only from Kenya, but also from Ethiopia, Uganda, Tanzania, and Ivory Coast. This is a special and truly honor to be here, and we are happy to have also the opportunity to present this cooperative and the coffee production in their country, also in these lots that we have dedicated during SIGEP in the Sustainability District. So today is the second event dedicated to Kenya, and until the end of SIGEP we will present also the other 4 African countries involved. So before giving the floor to our precious guests Giulia and Andrea, I would like to invite you all to visit our African area, which is here in this pavilion B1. Thank you very much.
Grazie Cinzia Sarli. Mostriamo ora un video che ci introdurrà ancora meglio al progetto. Abbiamo qui un'intervista a una delle cooperative.
My name is Susan Sombuya Nzomo. I am in Machakos County. I am 50 years of age and I am now working with Kaluni Farmers Cooperative Society. I am currently the CEO, that is Kaluni Farmers Cooperative Society. I began this work in the year 2016. From that time I was farming. I was assisting my father doing all the work at the coffee farms, that is pruning, picking. I got married. Then from the marriage, my father-in-law gave me some number of trees, that is about 250 coffee trees. Coffee is one of the major income earning in Kenya, which is a cash crop. It has been giving us income. We have been assisted by Arabica project. We have CBTs, which is community-based trainers who has been trained to reach the farmers at their farm level to ensure that the crop that they produce is at the best level and also they have good farming practices. So as to ensure the quality because it is sourced from the farmer. And also we have CAPAs. CAPAs being trained on the coffee testing so as to assist the farmers to ensure that the quality that we produce from the farm are the best qualities. Now the farmers are able now to double their production. Like for last year, we had a total of almost 248,000 kilos. But last year, with the Arabica, we have managed to produce 511,000 kilos of cherry, whereby the farmers have improved their income. The challenges that we are facing as a factory, one is the change of climate, which has not been promising. We have been able for the first years to receive short rains, which have affected the grade and also the productivity of our coffee. We have another challenge of the pests and diseases, whereby the farm inputs are very expensive for the farmers to get. We also have a challenge of farmers not delegating the seedlings to the youth, whereby the hedging farmers have gotten the coffee trees to themselves, that not delegating to their sons and their daughters, to their in-laws. So they have been limited in doing some of the practical work at their farms. We also have another challenge of price fluctuations. The prices have not been constant, whereby sometimes they may go up, other times they go down, and then the farmers are not encouraged. They don't have the morale to continue the coffee farming. I think for the opportunities that we may have is to ensure that once our coffee is well produced from the farmers, that is having the best quality and for the best production, the farmers can be able to see how can getting the direct sales. The direct sales will ensure that our coffee is bought at higher prices. That will be able to assist us to improve our livelihoods and also improve our living standards. For the youth, I may first start by advising them to be very honest, to be very hard working. First, to be in conjunction, to be working with their parents, helping them and seeing how the coffee processing is done, how the coffee farming is done. For example, for myself, I didn't know whether I'll be able to come to this society, but since I had the opportunity, I make sure that the youth are getting to the farms, that they get their parents delegate some of the coffee trees, so they can be busy in doing some of the field work and then bringing the coffee to the society.
Ecco, grazie a questo video siamo già entrati un pochino di più nel contesto appunto in cui si svolge questa partnership. Ora lascio la parola a Giulio Di Pinto e Andrea Mora che ci accompagneranno in questo viaggio sulle note del caffè. Vi lascio la parola.
Grazie Sara. Good afternoon everyone. I will do my speech, my speech in English. I'll translate from time to time, so for our Italian audience. So first of all, I'm very happy to be here at SIGEP for the second year in a row, whereas we were saying it has been a pleasure to keep the collaboration with the Italian Trade Agency going. Just a quick background, we saw quite a bit of things in the video. Even our director, Mr. Rusconi, already gave us quite a number of information. As Italian Agency for Development Cooperation, we are the technical arm of the Italian cooperation system under the oversight of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Italian Development Cooperation Agency has roughly 20 offices around the world. One of such offices is in Kenya, where I'm actually based in and I'm working in. And since 2018, I have been working on the coffee value chain. Let me tell you something. When I arrived in Kenya, I was working as a communication officer, so my job was not even closely related to coffee value chain. I got into the sector just because they were looking for someone in the office who could care for a little while on about this project that was starting, and I thought, okay, let's help them. It's just experience. I'll see where it goes. And I mean, I've been doing a lot of things meanwhile, but actually I've discovered a complete world on coffee. I've been 7 years working on that, and I still learn. And this is one of the reasons why we would like to do this kind of panel with the help of Andrea and with our colleagues. Because sometimes we drink a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe we add some milk, we add some more water, we add sugar, but then we never stop thinking, oh, where is this coffee coming from? What am I drinking? And then being in this process, seeing what's in between the cup I'm drinking and the cherry that comes out from the tree, it's an amazing journey. Now when I'm drinking coffee, I'm not an expert, but when I'm drinking coffee, I'm starting to taste things. I'm starting to taste notes, I'm starting to taste, blackcurrant, chocolate, spices, lemon, things that I was not even thinking about because I was just sipping the coffee in a rush in the morning and off go to the university or whatever. But if we just stop a moment in the morning before doing our daily duties and chores and whatever, and we just, while we are sipping the coffee, we think, oh, how does it, what's this coming from? It's not only bitterness, it's not only, there is more. And all the more that I'm telling you about, it's coming from the cherry. It's coming from where the coffee cherry is growing. The soil, the environment, how much rains it gets, how much warm is the summer. So there is a whole journey that brings you to this cup of coffee. Not only a whole value chain, a whole supply chain. There is also a story inside what you are drinking. And what we would like today to show you, even with an interactive coffee cupping, is just to let you think about, okay, how does this coffee taste? What I can taste in this sip of coffee? And then Andrea will help us to understand from, for example, which area of Kenya the coffee is coming. So to understand what's really, because we are not just drinking something that gives us caffeine. We are drinking a story. We are drinking a story that maybe started, I don't know, Andrea, help me. If I drink a coffee now, maybe the bean, the cherry was collected 6 months ago, roughly. Oh,
Maybe even less, actually.
yeah, so we have 6 to 3 months of story inside that coffee we are drinking. And I even discovered, for example, that, okay, we pour our ground coffee into the mocha pot or into the espresso pot, but you don't see the seed, the coffee seed, the roasted coffee seed. And that's another whole story, because even the seed itself, it can tell you if the variety of coffee, it can tell you, I don't know, how it was roasted, light, medium, or dark roast. So it's really involving all the senses, what you taste, what you smell, what you see, and it's a beautiful world. I mean, I'm talking also to Italians. It's like when we are drinking wine. We always love when we are drinking wine to say, oh, this wine, it has a mineral taste, it tastes like this, it tastes like that. Coffee is exactly the same. It can be the same for olive oil or whatever. So the message we would like to bring today is that we are drinking a story. And we, as Italian Cooperation, in the last, I'm saying 7 years because 7 years I've been working on that project, but the project itself, it lasted only 3 years and a half. So in the past 3 years, we have been working with coffee farmers, with governments, local and central ones. I have been on the field. I have seen how the whole thing develops. And what did we do? Just in a nutshell, before giving the floor to Andrea, what did we do? Well, we work with farmers, so we train extension officers. We train young service providers. We created demo plots where the farmers can go and test the different growing techniques and see how to prune a coffee tree, how to fertilize it, or whatever. We train the cooperative management, because it is important that not only the coffee has a good quality, but also that cooperatives knows how to run properly, because the cooperatives are one of the points of contacts between the smallholder farmer and the rest of the value chain. We created 7 coffee cupping and analysis labs, one in each country we have been working. We have trained coffee cuppers. So, and this was the most interesting part of the project. Young people, especially women, loving to taste coffee, to understand what was in that cup. I attended a couple of trainings, and it was amazing to see how they were trying to look for the notes. Most of them were drinking coffee for the first time. And I could see the excitement in their eyes, the willing to know. And this is also a way to bring youth into the coffee farming. Because in Kenya, on average, the farmer, let's say the average age is quite high. And in Kenya, there is the need of youth. It's one of the youngest countries in Africa, but youth doesn't go and grow coffee, mango, or any other fruit, or they are more the eldest that grow that. So it is important also to bring them closer to coffee. Maybe from the upstream, barista, they know how to do latte art, they know how to cup coffee, and then they get passionate, as I did actually. That's what happened to me. So this is one of the most interesting part I saw when when following on the project. Last but not least, and if you are willing to know more, you can come to stand B15. Yes, to stand B15 all on that side. We created some origin marks, one for each county we have been working, and for each one we did a complete profiling of the coffee of the cooperatives that are working with us. The idea is, if I'm a coffee buyer or just a coffee connoisseur or someone interested in coffee, just open that leaflet and see, oh, coffee from this county. I'm not saying counties, I will leave to Andrea the honor to tell us, let's say, where the coffee is, but coffee from this country, oh, it's usually citrusy, it's usually chocolatey. So, okay, I'm interested in that coffee. Maybe it can change, as we will see. In the same county, there will be different coffees. However, this is what we want also to raise more awareness and sensitize even more about what coffee is. And last but not least, we are going also to work on traceability, so to provide a better traceability for the coffee bean, in order if I'm a buyer, I'm buying coffee from the auction or I'm buying coffee indirectly, I can easily see where the coffee is coming, who grew it, in which farm. So this is what we have been doing so far. I hope that we have been doing well, but that's the story I wanted to tell you, and I think I also took quite long time. So if I'm allowed to, I will leave the floor to Andrea, which will bring us to this journey in Kenya. Karibu.
Asante. So good afternoon. My name is Andrea, and I'm a coffee enthusiast, coffee lover. Let's just leave it there, and a coffee taster. So coffee is about so many journeys, and Julio here spoke about a journey, and I want to take you on a journey around a mountain in Kenya. So what is the purpose of the coffee tasting today? Is to demonstrate to you the country I come from, Kenya, is very diverse in geography, in topography. We have semi-deserts, rainforests, we have snow-capped mountains, and our coffees are as diverse as the landscape. Now, I'd like to demonstrate that to you today. I'm challenging you and myself to see if we can see the difference, the diversity in the three coffees we'll taste today, brewed very simply in a coffee press. It's a challenge because it's much easier for me to choose coffees from different parts of Kenya that are so different. But these three coffees come from a mountain, in different parts of the mountain, around the mountain. The first one will be a coffee from a society called New Kieni, and it's at 1500 meters. So we'll start with that coffee. We'll then go to a second one called Nyaki Society, which is about 800 meters above sea level. And the last one will be Gavaivi, which is a coffee that is around about 1720 to 1800 meters high. You can see the altitude is the same, very similar. It's the same mountain, but north, south, all around. But my challenge to you is, can you spot the difference? Will you spot the difference in the fragrance? What you saw going around just now was ground coffee, which I would encourage you to smell. I don't know if you have you given it out? So the first coffee will be New Kieni. Is that New Kieni, Bridget? And a shout out to the farmers. This young lady here is a farmer, and the other two ladies are a farmer. We have a few farmers here amongst you as well, so it's their coffee that we're tasting. So I'm just checking, how many minutes do we have, Alessio? Okay, so the coffees will come out. The first one will be New Kieni. Again, why is it a challenge? There are chocolate notes in all three coffees. They're fruity flavors, and they're floral aromas as well. So let's taste and see what you think. I'd like you to think about what you're feeling on the sides of your tongue. I'd like you to feel if there's a sweetness. Is it chocolate? Is it juicy? And I'm going to come and ask you. So it will be an interactive session. Now, I have to say to you, we have a stand, as Julio mentioned, where we have actually roasted coffee to the espresso standard, to the Italian palate, which you can taste as an espresso. The coffee we're tasting today is a medium roast. It's a lot, tastes better in a coffee press, and it will maybe demonstrate these flavors a lot more. So if you do want to taste the coffees we're having today, you will taste them. You can taste them in a darker roast at our stand. So let's see. I think they're going to go out now. We're sending around little cups. Please feel free to smell the grounds. That's what we call the fragrance. Those who are cuppers know that you start with smelling the fragrance of the coffee, because that will give you an idea. It's the beginning of the journey of this particular coffee. So we have the farmer from New Kieni right here. I can see him filming me. So I think they'll be coming through shortly. So how many of you are cuppers or have tasted coffee before? I would like to urge you to do something maybe your mother told you not to do. Slurp. The bigger the slurp, the better. And that's because you aerate the coffee and you spray it all around your tongue where you have different levels of sensation. And you also aerate the coffee because it then connects with the olfactory glands and gives you a memory of something. So you can taste 4, but you can smell over 800 aromas and they will remind you of things. Sometimes when you smell coffee, it makes you feel good. I've never known of a coffee that makes you feel bad. There's something to remind you of your grandmother, or maybe a cold day, or maybe some kind of a memory that you've had somewhere. I see Dominica laughing here. And just a quick shout out to Dominica. She roasted the coffees here on site, just next to our stand. So thank you, Dominica. So Alessio is, are we ready? New Kenyan. Sorry? The grind has been, is this the new Kenyan? Okay. Does anybody want to smell the grind? The same? Just pass it around. And then now we can have the coffees. They'll be coming through. So, think about sweetness. I'll let you decide what it is. There is certain language we use on the cupping table. I want you to ignore that. What does it do for you? What does it remind you? And feel free to say. So I'm going to come around and ask you to do so. The coffees are coming. I'm sure you're all very, very... So remember, it's a challenge. 3 coffees, similar altitude, from the same mountain, but in different parts of the mountain. And what am I demonstrating? The coffees are diverse, they're different. There might be some similarities, but they'll be different. And it's just to show you that you are tasting the place that it's grown and the journey that it's come from. Sometimes even when a coffee doesn't taste so good, it's telling you something. Something happened, you know, in the grind, maybe in the production, maybe on the way. So it's so sensitive, and it really is a journey. The farmer can do a great job, but if you mess up behind the bar, exactly, you could also mess up in the roast. So it really is a long journey. And then just as you drink this coffee, remember behind every bean is a face, and some of the faces are here. So hopefully it will come through. Coming through? Okay. So maybe I should just ask, have you ever tasted Kenyan coffee? Never. So what are you looking forward to? Maybe what do you normally drink? What coffee do you normally drink?
I like it not acidic. I prefer the dark roasted one and espresso one. I've been to Sweden, and there it's too acidic for me and also watery, and I know I don't like that one. Maybe more the burnt one. It's a defect. Yeah.
No, not really. It's what you like. Coffee is about what you want it to be. So if you come to our stand, you taste the darker roast of these coffees. What you're going to taste here is probably similar to what you're referring to, which is a medium roast and brewed. One more, Alessio, here. And so just smell it first. Smell, because this is where the coffee introduces itself to you. This is where, if you're a cupper, you know this is probably in Africa. And then maybe if you're familiar with Kenya, you'll say, could it be Kenya? So it introduces itself. And then slurp. So this is new Kenyan. What are you smelling in it? Are you smelling floral? When we say floral, we mean dried flowers, not like a rose that's a floral. So these coffees, all 3, have the similar characteristics of floral, chocolate in terms of taste. Sometimes you can smell a bit of the cocoa sometimes, and also quite fruity. There's different types of fruit. So black currants, blackberries, it depends on you. What is your experience? Okay, I'm going to go back to you, and please be honest. If you don't like it, it's fine. There's a coffee for everyone. But I'm just curious to know, have you smelled anything in this based on what I've said? Or
yes, it's different compared to the coffee I usually have at home. I must say that I pay attention to the coffee I drink because I also work for a coffee company. It is fruity, in my opinion, and I perceive it as lighter as I usually drink it.
Okay, anybody else has an opinion? What do you call the body for this one? What do you think, Dominica?
Medium body, medium weight, but with nice viscosity, with nice prolonged aftertaste. So, yeah.
So prolonged aftertaste. Interesting. Okay, let's see if you think about all these descriptions when we go to the second coffee. So anybody else wants to say something?
Maybe some berry in this. I can feel, yes.
Yes, this coffee has berry notes, a bit of chocolate, and definitely floral sometimes in the aroma. So it all depends. Okay, so anybody else? Okay.
It's floral and it's very like strawberry. It's creamy body and very sweet.
Okay, thank you. So would you call this a lighter coffee?
Yes,
Would you call it a lighter?
kids, I like it. It's sweet.
Okay, so let's go to the next coffee. So this next coffee, so remember this was a little bit lower down in altitude. The next coffee is gnocchi. I think it's coming around. I'm not sure if the fragrance, does anybody want to smell the fragrance? Fragrance is the dry ground coffee, which sometimes is kind of nice. You'll catch a few notes that you probably won't taste, or you may. It's just part of the process of tasting coffee. And then, so this coffee is called gnocchi. It's from a county called Meru, and it's at 1,800 meters above sea level. And I think it's the one we just tasted now. Is it on the north side? North. So this one is on the south. Bridget is the farmer, and she's one of the farmers who takes her coffee to this cooperative. She's also the secretary manager or CEO of this gnocchi coffee. And it's so nice to see you serve your own coffee. Okay, so I'm curious. Yes, all Arabica. Have you got the coffee yet? No, not yet here. Okay, I'll let it go round. What do you think, Sarah? No pressure. When you compare to this, the two.
Maybe it's more chocolatey, and the first one was more flowery, right?
Actually, all three coffees have similar notes, but some will be more than the other. But I agree. What about you, Dominica?
Beautiful presence of jasmine with the black tea at the end and a very nice blueberry notes with like hint of dry fruits.
I know this is one of your favorites.
And of course the beautiful like lemon-like acidity.
Wow, that's fully loaded. That's a fully loaded. That's good. Oh, good. Anybody else? Sir? Would you like to say something?
Well, I can smell the tea and the black currant and the jasmine.
Okay, and between the two coffees, would you find this heavier or lighter? Or similar?
I would find it similar.
Similar. Okay, great. Anybody else? What about somebody who hasn't said something? You don't look like
More acidity.
more acidic than the other one. Okay, so it's the feeling on the sides of your tongue. Okay.
I like it a lot, so I prefer it.
Okay. So it's interesting. You have some who prefer this one and some who prefer the first. There's a coffee for everyone, basically. There's a coffee for everyone. Okay. Oh, I think we've missed you out. Okay. Okay, great. So let's go to the third one, which is coming up now. Do you have the fragrance? I'm really sorry. I'm on a time. How am I doing for time? 5 minutes to go. Okay, that's why I'm rushing. Let's put the fragrance. So this is the third coffee. Just give it to, we just put one here and one there, and just pass it around and smell the fragrance. And this coffee is from Nyeri. Where is Nyeri in relation to Meru, Onyaki? Anybody? Bridget, where is Meru in relation to Onyaki? Would you say on the east of the mountain? On the east of the mountain. Okay, so this is the other side of the mountain. This coffee, we chose to do it as a third coffee because it's a little bolder. It was also roasted earlier today in the morning, which is usually you taste coffee sort of the day after, but it's okay to do so now. It's a really good coffee too. I'm curious what you think. Again, it's got chocolate notes. It says it's supposed to have chocolate notes, a bit of floral. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you taste it and tell me what you think. I'll come to you in a minute. Would anybody like to give an opinion? Can I put you on the spot? Have you tasted the other two? Oh, this is the first one.
Emotional is when my grandfather the soup with vegetables was just important and connections, but very similar all three.
So it's giving an emotional experience. Remember I said to you earlier that it can do that. And I've never heard of bad experiences, but just beautiful memories or maybe something that makes you feel good. So that's interesting. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. And which of the three do you like?
Three, the third.
The third one, for obvious reasons, yes. Okay, can I come to you?
It's almost like caramel notes, but very light. Or like, I'm not sure how to say, like rubus, the flower as well.
Floral.
Yeah.
Yes, actually it's interesting you say that. Caramel is not one that people always catch in this coffee, and it is one of the tasty notes. This coffee has got chocolate caramel, it's very juicy, it's sweet, floral, and blackcurrant. But again, it depends on what your experience is. Anybody else? I'm curious, this lady here who had a problem with acidity. I'm coming back to you. Your thoughts?
I can perceive the chocolate flavor at the end, like the aftertaste, but my favorite was the first one. Yeah. Because it was more floral, more particular, different from what I'm used to. So for this reason. And the acidity is more than the ones I usually have in Italy.
Okay, so have you changed your mind a little bit that maybe that can be a good acidity?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. I think it's just down to what your experiences are, what you feel like. I'm very seasonal when it comes to coffee. There's certain coffees I prefer in the cold weather, when we have cold weather in Kenya. And then there's some that are really nice in the summer, especially the fruity ones.
Have like big glasses to have coffee, or is more like us?
No, so there's a trend now for Italian espresso-based coffees like lattes and cappuccinos in the cities. But generally we tend to drink our coffee like this, in a coffee press, or most people just have a pan, put the coffee in, boil the water separately, put it in, cover, and then sieve it, which is very similar. This is a glamorized form of that. So we tend to drink our coffees a lot lighter than espresso, just because of, I guess that's what has been in the culture, yeah. But there's a trend towards espresso now. Yeah, I'm one of those converts, so I like an espresso in the morning. Would anybody else like to say anything? Maybe I should go to Dominica again.
Okay, just super quickly. The last one we had very much present tangerine and jasmine with like kind of rose petals. Definitely the berry-like notes, very soft caramel with cocoa in the end. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Show of hands. How many like the first? Show of hands. How many like the second? How many like the third?
Thank you so much, Andrea Mora, for taking us on this incredible journey, and thank you for your tasting all the coffees, for telling us what you thought about this coffee. I invite you to visit Andrea, Giulio Di Pinto and Cinzia Sarli at cell B15. Thank you so much.